I am beginning now with the Snake Eye support. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't even remember exactly how Snake Eye works. It's been a while since we read these cards. I think maybe there were supposed to be some sort of Infernoid-style support cards. They work really well with the Diabell Star, but the Diabell Star is obviously a card engine deck in and of itself, potentially. Although, of course, Magic Dragon has now been 07'd, so I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing too much of Diabell Star as an engine, except maybe in the Rescue Ace, or even just in her own Snake Eye archetype. We'll see. I'm not completely sure yet, to tell you the truth. I don't know if there's any too good generic 8s that warrant playing her. I haven't really had a chance to sit down and test it yet. But I guess we'll see. You guys probably know more than I do. Let's see what the Snake Eye support cards look like. I mean, you should be able to judge whether or not that these are decent just by themselves individually. So we got Populous here, a level 1 Fire Pyro. Can only use the first, second, and third of this effect once per turn. Well, if you have a... I can tell you from experience that if you have a hard once per turn effect on a card 3 times, it's probably going to be somewhat usable. So I'm sure this is going to go somewhere. It's 200 defense, so that's a rekindling target. That's always good. I don't remember if Snake Eyes have a lot of rekindling targets. I think there's like 1 or 2. But I'm not sure if that's going to be an actual relevant incentivized card to play in Snake Eyes. That is rekindling. We'll see. So 700, 200, you can use the first... If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. Okay, so next extender, that reads exactly like Salamangreat Mirror. Guess what? No one really plays Salamangreat Mirror. I think I've seen that in a handful of deck lists ever in Salad. So this effect probably doesn't warrant this enough to play it just by itself. However, when it is normal or special, it does add any Snake Eye spell and trap from deck to hand. Well, that has to be really good, right? I mean... Realistically, if you're going to be adding any Snake Eye spell and trap from deck to your hand, especially, I want to say the field spell is the most important card in the deck, then this has to be decent. And obviously, you can get it off of its special summon when you search for it, so that's pretty good. This is sent to the grave, target a fire in the grave, and place it face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Okay, yeah, in the context of Snake Eyes, I guess this is a pretty good, strong, incredible card. All right, I want to say that this is decent. Being able to fetch trap cards as well is really important because trap cards tend to be sort of really bad to draw or like see by themselves, but if you can kind of just play like 1 or 2 in your deck and then tutor them out, it's generally a decent strategy. But I don't remember how relevant the Crystal Beast style effect of putting monsters in your spell and trap zone is. This probably would have went a lot bit better if I actually read up on the Snake Eye cards, because it's been a while since we saw the first wave. But this seems to be probably one of the best Snake Eye cards, I'm not going to lie. This must be great. Imagine if Lilybell and Candino were 1 card. Yeah, but at the same time, you know, you do have to remember it is still a Snake Eyes card, so... we got Snake Eye Dramatic Chase here. It's a quick play card, and it's got all the gang on it. It has to be good, right? If the artwork suggests that it plays all of the cards. You can only use the first and second of this fair once per turn. Place a Diabell Star from hand, deck, face up, or grave, face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. That has to be good. During the end phase, banish this from your grave and target a monster treated as a continuous spell you control and special summon it. We'll only use the first and second of this game name each once per turn, so you can use both in a turn, correct? Activate this, place a card, banish, special summon. That's pretty good. I don't know if you want to be doing the Diabell Star monster, like the actual boss girl, or if you want to go for the... There's like a little one, isn't there? Maybe? I could be misreading this. I honestly don't know how Snake Eyes is supposed to work as its own individual archetype, I'm going to be honest with you. Most people only really ever played it as a package, so... yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. Goblin Paratrooper Squad. Oh boy, okay, we got a generic level 4 Wind Warrior here. This has to be the... It's not going to be good, is it? This is once again just your average typical support card in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Which is here's a pretty neat, cool theme. It's kind of incentivized around the theme of the lore and the story and the thing that it calls back to. Maybe kind of works, or based on the artwork, appears to be working with the giant ballpark or something. Yeah, Fortnite reference where we dropping. Anyway, Paratrooper Squad is a 0 attack, 2000 defense, level 4 Wind Warrior that can only use the first and second effect of the name each once per turn. And if it's specialed from the hand in attack, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls and change this to defense and negate the target's effect while this is in face-up defense. How do you special this then? There's no shot this is, like, supposed to be played with what? Goblinburg?
It was the baby!
Right? Like, it's
Hi,
a goblin
Farfa.
card? Like, there's no shot that's, like, actually what this is. Like, please don't tell me we're getting Goblinburg support in 2023. It's special to your opponent's field. While this is in your grave, you can discard a card and add this card to your hand. If a monster is special to your opponent's field, while this is in your grave, discard a card for cost and then add it back to your hand. Do we tell him? Okay, what are you supposed to do with this? Goblinburg, you can even see is played on the art. You play it with the Mind Goblin. New Goblin support can search it. Okay, so I figured that they must have been related in some way, but you guys told me that Goblin, the archetype, what is it called technically? Goblin Rider doesn't... This is not related. Right? Berg's the plane and he's the paratrooper. Well, it's only been 15 years, so that's fantastic. So this is not a Goblin card. It is a Goblin card. I guess we'll find out when we read the rest of the Goblin cards. All right, let's take a look at this other individual cards. Here we got Rumpel Teufel, having the last laugh. Rumpel Teufel. Is this French? Oh, you know it's going to be a crazy good card because it's French, surely. It's a normal trap that you can only use the first and second effect of the name once per turn. You can declare a monster card name, and neither player can special monsters with that original name for the rest of the turn except from the graveyard. Neither player can special monsters with that original name for the rest of this turn except from the grave. This isn't searchable though, right? Because I was under the impression that this was an Albaz card. Banish this from your grave and declare a monster card name. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters on the field with that original name for the rest of this turn. Labyrinth can set... Okay, well, I mean, Lady Lab can set any card in the entire game. That's a normal trap, right? So, pitch this with Furniture going second, declare Noir. Oh, Jesus. That's very good, actually. I wouldn't say very good, but, you know.
Last go Yu-Gi-Oh was the worst. I'm glad he's
yeah,
not making
this is
content
definitely
anymore.
more of a lab
Farfa
card.
Po.
It's Aliber's Mask. Okay. Well, clearly this is supposed to be the best kind of, or best use of this is probably in Labyrinth with that play that you just suggested there. I think the on-field effect is... How bad is calling a name? Probably fine, right? I mean, like, every deck has, like, a key sort of component. Some decks more than others really sort of hard focus on one monster. I mean, hey, if every card in deck in the game was Cyber Dragon, that would be, that would work. Although it does say original name, so maybe not. I think you can pretty much always call, like, a relevant card against most decks, and it'll be, like, annoying for the... For the deck to play through, right? But at the same time, I don't know if that's, like, any particularly, like, game-ending or turn-ending cards that you can really call that would make this amazing. It depends on the context and the situation. But I think as a Labyrinth one-of, it might be okay. Especially when you can use the Grave effect on your opponent's turn here. You discard a Furniture card. Yeah, call Alistair, you know? Unfortunately, Alistair doesn't need to be special summoned, so... You could do it twice, yeah, I suppose. You could use it on the field, then use it again in the grave if you set it going first. Call Robina, call Egglen, smile. Imperm from grave for tier elements. I mean, you could maybe play this in tier. You know, call something like what's it called? That didn't stop normal summon. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's the whole point. You can't use it on normal summon, so it doesn't do anything against Flunder. Neither player can special monster with the original name. Neither player can activate the effects monster field with the original name. You use the graveyard effect to call normal summons, I suppose. I don't know, man. It's like, okay, again, it's like the same sort of deal and explanation with any sort of trap card in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's like, this card is okay. It's not bad. It has its uses. There are contexts and situations where this will be playable and this will be decent. Is it game-winning? Is it meta-defining? Is it staple? Do you know what I mean? It's like, this card is just okay. It's just okay, you know? Decks will probably find some use for it. Other decks, maybe not. And it would be kind of probably forgettable unless someone plays it in some sort of a deck and archetype and strategy at a very niche and specific moment and format and matchup where it becomes good. Other than that, just in terms of generic trap cards, I mean, there's just always going to be better, more relevant, and decent trap cards in any situation for most archetypes, right? So, it's fine. I don't like the idea of being locked out of an entire turn by calling things because... How many times do we gotta say it? Lingering card effects are bad, okay? Say it with me, say it with me. Lingering card effects are bad. Lingering card effects are bad. Activate effect of the Abyss Dweller. You cannot use the grave for the entire turn. Lancia, Droll and Lockbird, etc., etc. These cards are bad. Lingering card effects are bad. Specifically Floodgates, okay? Yep, there you go. That's my coolest, best, hardest take on that. Konami have just gone Goblin mode. Here we are. A brand new entire deck and archetype. We've got Goblin. They have a lot of cards. What the hell? Okay, all right, here we go. So we've got Goblin Rider, Doug the Assaulter. Doug! Doug the Assaulter!
It was the baby!
Okay. If my girl, princess,
thank you.
Smile.
All right, so we've got Doug the Assaulter. It's a level 3 Earth Warrior. Level 3 archetype, I think. They're all level 3s. Okay, here we go. This is the new Burning Abyss, boys. This right here is where officially I move on. This has sold me already. They have a rank 3, and they have a bunch of main deck level 3 monsters. I am sold already. Are you here? You can only use the first and second effect of each name, of this card's name each once per turn. If this is in your hand, detach a material from an Xyz and then special this. And then if it's special or normal, add a Goblin Rider spell or trap from your deck to your hand. That is incredible. That's crazy. You summon Dante, you detach Graph, you special this guy, Graph summon Skarm, get Tour Guide in the end phase. This is amazing. Okay, this is already like probably just the best card ever printed. Next up, we've got Goblin Rider Clutter the Noisy. So this is are they different types and attributes? They're all different types and attributes, it looks like, but it's a level 3 deck. Okay, great, awesome. Love that for there can be only one. Good to see we're getting Tikaboo support. You can only use the first and second of this name once per turn each. If this is normal or special, target a goblin in your grave, except itself, and special summon it. I mean, that's pretty good, right? If you can make a rank 3 without your normal summon, you can make the rank 3. And then detach from the rank 3, get an effect. I assume the rank 3 lets you do something when you get an effect, right? Normal summon this, bring this back, make another guy. Okay. During your opponent's main phase, if this is in your graveyard, quick effect, detach material from an Xyz, then special this, but banish when it leaves the field. And then when it's special, brings back a goblin from the graveyard. Okay, so you summon this and then another body on your opponent's turn. What does that really do and achieve? I guess we'll find out. Let's keep reading. Goblin Rider, boon the max speed. Oh, we're going at max speed now. Okay, a Wind Warrior, 13. Attack level 3 during the main phase if this is in your hand or grave. Quick effect, can't special summon. You cannot special summon itself until the end of the next turn. Also detach material from a monster on the field, and if you do special summon this card. Okay, so all of these special summon during your opponent's turn. To what end, you might wonder? Let's find out. Goblin Rider, Meander the Cold-Blooded. A Water Fiend. That's a very interesting combination. You can only use the first and second of this name each once per turn. If this is normal or special, special El Goblino from your hand. No, it doesn't summon from deck. This would have been good if it let you summon from deck. That would maybe be too good, right? You know, they don't want to let you have tour guides that badly. So summon any goblin mode from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can detach a material from a monster on the field, and if you do special this, but banishment leaves the field. Detach material, special summon this. Okay. Well, they literally are... listen, my combo from earlier works because this is a fiend, right? And it has a grave effect. So you go tour guide into this, make the Xyz, detach from the Xyz, which probably does something. Detach from the Xyz, bring this back, you know? And then I hope that does something. Oh, you can rank up into this, I assume it looks like. Okay, they have 2 spells. They have a trap card. All right, this is... None of these cards do anything other than summon themselves. So that sounds amazing, but it needs to go somewhere. So hopefully there's a win condition here for why summoning all of these bodies on your opponent's turn is relevant, okay? This has to... Surely this does something. All right? This is right here. This is the most important card in the deck. If this thing sucks, it's Jover. So it's a generic rank 3 that requires 2 level 3s. That's 21 attack. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this name each once per turn. 3 hard once per turn effects. Has to be broken. You can... if this is Xyz, summoned, add a goblin monster from deck to your hand. El Goblino. Just on summon, add a guy. That's very good. If an Xyz is detached from monsters on the field, target one other face a monster on the field, attach it to this card as material. Oh, that's broken. Okay. So during your opponent's turn, you just detach material from him, special summon max speed, and then you can attach your opponent's monster to what's this guy called? Big Head Gabonga. Love that. Love that name. Love that. Big Head Gabonga. All right. I can't wait to Onga Bonga my opponent's monsters onto his materials, if you know what I mean. If it exceeds detached from this, target another face a monster in the field, you can attach it. And then during each end phase, attach a goblin monster from your deck to this card as material. Okay. That's actually really sick. Is that once per turn? It is, right? You can only use first, second effect, name each once per turn. Oh, it's the name as well. It's not even a soft once per turn. I don't know if, like, snatch stealing a monster on your opponent's turn is that good. If that's, like, the entire full penultimate end of your combo, right? I mean, it's obviously good, but, like, is there anything else we can do? Surely these cards will do something. Here we go. There's a new, there's a rank 6 as well here. Oh, by the way, it's 2 level 3. Oh, I thought it was 2+. Never mind. All right, here we go. Maybe we rank up into this or something. You can only use a third effect of this name once per duel. Ha! Once per turn, quick effect, target a spell and trap on the field. Detach to... from monsters on the field, anywhere on the field, by the way. And if you do attach that card to this as a material... Okay, so you have back row sucking, which is nice. If a monster you control is destroyed by card effect, detach one from this instead. Okay, protection, that's decent. If this is in your grave, special summon it, then attach a goblin monster from your grave to it as a material. Whoa. That's really good. This thing just brings itself back, and then attaches a goblin mode. Yeah, that's really strong. It's once per duel, but I mean, that's still, like, decent. You know, and then you can slap, what, a Gaia on top of this, and then make a Zeus as well. So there you go. That's like a 3 materials.
Last go Yu-Gi-Oh was the worst.
Just with
I'm
this,
glad he's not making content
other effect
anymore.
here. That's good. Okay. How do you make this, though? I guess we'll find out. Here's 2 spell cards. We got Grand Gathering of the Goblin modes. Continuous. You can use a third effect once per turn. Goblins gain 300 for each goblin. Oh, God, that's too much maths. Now I have to go 300 multiplied by the number of goblins and then add it onto the obscure number of the monster. Ah, it's too much numbers. Anyway, during your main phase, normal a goblin in addition to your normal. Okay, so you get an extra normal summon. Okay, so far this isn't impressing me. It's just double summon. Target 2 goblin modes that have a level to activate one is if the level of one of them becomes the level of the other, and their levels become their total original levels. So that's how you make the rank 6 here. That's pretty cool. I don't know if this rank 6 is that good. The recursion is decent. It has removal, but I feel like you would just always really want to make this thing, right? Okay, so this is, like, fine, but the thing is, like, this makes you want to play the 6, and it's like, you know, Beat Rice. You can probably just end on both, I suppose, because they do have a lot of spamming. And then we have a second spell card here, Grand Entrance of the Goblin modes. It's a normal spell that can only use the first and second effect once per turn each. Add a goblin mode from deck to hand and then detach material from a monster on the field, and if you do special level 4 lower goblin from your hand. I really don't like that. This requires setup, and this requires you to already be winning / playing. So that's a bit... I'm not, like, a crazy fan of this. I feel like it would be better if you would just be able to, like, you know... yeah. Okay. It's still decent, alright. It's optional. Oh, true, it is optional. It is just Rota. True. I misread that. Okay. It's a then you can effect. So you can also banish this from the grave and then detach material from monster in the field and then add a goblin monster from grave to hand. Okay, that's actually very good then. It's just Rota with bonus effects. That's always good. Who's the best card in this deck here? I want to say like Mac Rider. No, it's not, really. I mean, they're all fine. I just don't understand why special summoning all of these things on your opponent's turn is that good. Because, like, the detach to special summon is fine, but, like, what do you do after that? You detach to special summon, you can attach a monster, but then you can keep summoning these on your opponent's turn, but, like, why? To what end? Like, what else can you do with these things? Here we go, trap card. This is the last chance, okay? This is the last chance. You can only use the first or second effect of this card's name per turn and only once per turn. This is searchable, remember. Continuous trap card. During the main, immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon using only goblins as material. Okay, so there you go. That kind of sums it up, right? You have a bunch of these guys that you spam onto the field. You bring them out during your opponent's turn by detaching and special summoning, and then you can immediately perform an Xyz using goblin monsters, and you can just make any rank 3 on your opponent's turn. Ashura King for negates? Maybe? If you control a goblin Xyz, target effect monster in the field, detach an Xyz material from a monster on the field, and then negate that effect until the end of this turn. That's decent, honestly. That's decent. I'm going to be real. This deck is not incredible, but it's really cool. It's unique, and it has a very interesting set of synergies within itself. It looks kind of fun to play. It doesn't have, like, very boring standard effects of negate, quick effect. It doesn't have, like, crazy broken interruption. It actually has very good interruption, but it's not, like, consistent constantly all the time stopping you from playing the game, like also with negates. It's an interesting type of disruption as well by attaching monsters. It's, like, fine. It's kind of cool. It's a neat deck. I don't hate this. I wonder if we'll actually maybe be able to synergize this with BA, although the synergies there are really just kind of limited to making a rank 3. So, you know. But I feel like this is going to find a home in some other deck, for sure. Maybe you can play this with Punks. Maybe you can play this with Gold Prides. Maybe you unironically can play this with BAs. You know? We'll see. But it's neat. Okay, I do like this. This seems promising. It's pretty interesting and cool card design, and I think that this is definitely going to end up doing a decent amount of, you know, work in the metagame when it comes out. I don't think it's going to be dominating. I don't think it's going to be destroying the format, but I can absolutely see this doing well at the regional level. Maybe potentially stealing like a YCS top or something. It's actually a solid base here, just off of the first couple of cards they've had. You know, I think this is cool. I like this.